What's up, everybody? Let's get into it. Love After Lockup, Season 6, Episode 18. Karma is coming. Honey, we're talking about Troy. Are y'all ready to get into this? Let's do it. A sweet old auntie. Thank you, subscribers. Shall we get into it? Oh, yes, we shall. It's time for Auntie Zariah. It's time for Auntie Zariah. Oh, yeah. It's time for Auntie Zariah. Auntie Zariah. What's up, everybody? Hello there, members. Y'all, let's get into this daggone. Now, I did not put any pictures up. I don't plan on putting any pictures up in respect and full respect for Troy's father. But child, last night was a whole mess, was it not? So last night we saw Zariah and her girlfriend basically, saying that Zariah was saying that Troy called her at the last minute and told her that he wanted her to come to Buffalo and because he wanted to memorialize his father. Now it's mighty funny that Troy would wait until the last minute to tell Zariah, who said that she know nothing about it, right? So anyway, her and her girlfriend, she was like, he just want me put down, what I'm doing and everything, and go out there to him. Girl, I'm going out there to him as fast as I can. So anyway, she is on her way driving to. Why am I screaming? I know everybody in the house like, okay, why is she up there screaming? So her and her girlfriend hop in the car and everything, and they're on their way to Buffalo. Last week we saw Troy get in contact with Ayana and basically tell her that, he was on his bending knees because he wanted, baby Troy to come and visit him. So we open up the episode, right, with Troy with the baby, right? And everything, and saying that he was going to memorialize his father, and he was happy that she was there. And it was so sweet because she said, I love spending time with you, Daddy. And I thought that was just so sweet. So anyway, Troy, as we all know, father passed away while he was incarcerated. And he says in this episode that he only spent 26 years with his father. 6 of those years he was incarcerated and his father passed away. So he is like, devastated and everything. Now, the storyline has been so jacked up. I don't know if stuff is cut or edited or what the hell is going on. But first of all, we thought that Troy was coming home to Buffalo because he was looking for his little brother. And then it turned out that Troy said he hasn't had his father's ashes, right? And he was going to collect the ashes. So we like, okay, that's so sad. Maybe he's going down to the funeral home. At least that's what I'm thinking. He going down to the funeral home and everything, and he about to make this right. Maybe it was a payment that was missed or whatever, right? Because I'm just like so confused about their storyline this season, right? I really don't even think they got one. I think they making up one. But anyway, I digress. So we see Troy, we see Zariah and her girlfriend arrive, and they like, okay, we made it, and all of this kind of stuff. And then we start seeing Troy's family coming, right? We see that sister is there, and we see Vaughn, right? And they're there, but then we see another side of Troy's family. My assumption is that this is Troy's father's side of the family. So, they rolling up and everything. They in this little dog park and stuff like that. And Troy is on edge. So Zariah gets there and everything, and she was like, Troy, can I talk to your daddy real quick? I don't even know if she spoke to the people that was there, because she basically was saying in the car that she didn't know who was coming down that camp, right? So she pulls him off to the side, and the first thing he asked her, you pregnant? What you got to tell me, you pregnant? And she was like, yeah. And then he was like, "Oh, oh, are you serious about it?" And she was like, "Yeah, I'm serious." So he hugs her and all of that kind of stuff, right? And I'm just wondering, why she would tell him doing this. Like a lot of people be doing like reveals and stuff like that for their partner. But she just, had to go on out there and say it. Now, turns out that it worked out best for him because he was about to go through some shit, okay? And so, he's happy about it. So then he starts apologizing and crying, to her and telling her, this is good news and stuff like that, right? When they was doing like their little interview and stuff, he was saying, it was something that brightened up his day and everything. And so Zariah says that, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want nobody to know nothing about this, knick knack, patty rat, give a dog a bone. So Troy is like, oh, okay, I'm going to keep a secret. And she was like, you sure you can keep a secret? Whatever. So they go back over there, where the family is, the auntie and the uncles and everybody coming. And they had this little box, right? This little white box. And I was like, okay, so is it an urn inside of that, or is that just the ashes in that little cardboard box? Y'all tell me downtown in the comment section, because I was so daggone confused. So, they get it to, the uncle was like, I done had this, from day A. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, what? Didn't Troy say he couldn't get the ashes? Is he saying he couldn't get the ashes from the uncle? Y'all, I was so got confused. So anyway, he give him this little cake box, right? It looked like like one of them little white cardboard boxes, that you put like a cake or a cupcake in. I'm assuming that it was, something else inside of it, and we just didn't get to see it. So then Troy decides, to hold his baby's hand and everything. And, he talks about, he wants to stand up in front of the crowd. He got, auntie and all them there. And he stands up in front of the crowd and he's like, one of the reasons why I worked hard to, get out of that hellhole that I was in was for my father and was for my daughter, right? And so all of a month sudden, in a twinkling of an eye, Troy starts opening up the box, right? And next thing I know, he was putting ashes on them. Y'all, I ain't never seen no like that in my whole life. If that what people do with cremated bodies, I'm going to have to tell my daughter, don't you do no like that. Next thing I know, Troy get to crying. And I'm feeling sad. He talking. The auntie is like, oh Lord, yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. So I'm like, what's going on? And everybody face straight like this. I mean, the only person I saw that had any kind of emotion. So Troy is like my father going, he got the ashes and he pulling up the ashes and he putting the ashes up. My daddy gonna be with me for the rest of my life. My daddy gonna be with me for the rest of my life. My daddy gonna be with me for the rest of my life. Next thing I know, he hollering and screaming and then went down to the riverside. Down to the riverside, honey, to lay his life down there with his mama. And all of a sudden, Troy got a skunk wipe. At first, I just was like, what is that on the side of Troy's head, up around on the side, kind of thick, looking like a skunk? My assumption is that Troy took them ashes and put them ashes round town to the back of his head and all around his head. Then we saw him taking the ashes and he was putting the ashes downtown to the riverside. He was taking it and putting it over the railing, and he was just bawling and wailing and wailing and bawling. And the rest of the family was sitting on the bleachers like that. His brother had a baby in his arms. The sister was looking. Zariah was looking. He down there telling his father, if you can hear me, I love you. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, death, everybody handles death differently. So I don't have no criticism for how he handled that, right? I don't have nothing bad to say. I ain't trying to drag him, make fun of him, or nothing. But I have never seen anything like that in my life. Now, I've seen people take ashes and they put ashes in different places and they sprinkle it where the person want them to sprinkle it and stuff like that, right? Most people tell you what they want to do with your ashes. But was it any ashes left in the box? I just was wondering, are they giving these? Was the uncle giving these ashes to Troy to do this, or was the uncle shocked that Troy took the ashes and went off like that with him? And I guess that's his father; he could do what he want to do. But I heard the uncle say he had the ashes for like 2 or 3 years. And Troy was just crying, and the aunt was like, "Are you gonna go down there and see your man, baby? You gonna go down there and handle this? You what you gonna do? You just standing here with that stupid grin on your face. Let's walk down this month and see if we can calm him down." So she like, "You want me to go with you?" She was like, "Yeah, come on down there with me." So she goes down there, to comfort Troy. Troy is down there losing it. And I mean, when I say he was losing it, Troy was down there losing it. And he was saying that my daddy just wanted me to live my life right. He wanted me to be a good boy. And the aunt was saying, yes, he did, baby. He just wanted you to do good and to be right and do the right thing. And I'm telling you right now, I was like, why does Troy have all of that? Y'all, I ain't never seen nobody do nothing like that. Troy was gone. But and I was sitting there with y'all, right? We watched this together. And I was like really confused about where he went. Now we know that Troy has been very sensitive. He's easy to cry about stuff. But I think that we all deduced that Troy needs some serious therapy. Troy has mama drama. He feels like he's been abandoned. He doesn't feel like he still has a great relationship with his mother. His father, who was rooting for him and wanting him to get his life together, didn't get an opportunity for Troy to see him outside of the bars. We saw and we heard Troy talk about how he had to go to the funeral shackled under police. Troy need therapy. And I know he can ready to have a baby. As Zariah was saying, how happy she is that she's getting to, see motherhood again and all of that kind of stuff. And I've heard rumors that she's had her baby. But given the fact that he acted like this, if I were Troy's wife, he would be under he would be under psychiatric care. And that doesn't mean in a psychiatric hospital. It means he would be under care. And a therapist would be on speed dial. because the only thing I think that snapped him out of it was when little Troy went over and said, Daddy, you okay? I thought that was the most adorable thing. And he really needed that. But honey, them throwing them ashes around, and but I'm telling you, I think that what affected me the most was how the family was just sitting there. They did not react. They didn't do anything. Do they have a relationship with Troy? Does Troy have a relationship with them? Like, what relationship do they have? Because I'm going to tell you, they weren't moved, shaken, or stirred. They were not moved, shaken, or stirred. Neither were they impressed by what Troy was doing. But I'm gonna tell you right now, in my opinion, he needs trauma surgery. Troy has trauma, and everybody else is gonna be trauma. His everybody else is going to get the effects of who Troy is until Troy go out somewhere, honey, and get some serious counseling and stuff. Because I was like, I ain't never seen nobody throw no ashes over their body. And then he was saying that the ashes stay with. I just was like, I'm so daggone confused. And now Zariah is bringing the baby in to the household. He has issues with the other baby mama, and he needs some therapy. So, Troy, if you see this video, like seriously, I don't have no judgment for you as to how you handle that situation. Like, for real, I don't. But, young, it just shows that there are some deep rooted and deep seated things that you need to handle. You have to take that stuff, go to therapy, and pluck it up. And there is nothing wrong with therapy. There's no reason to be embarrassed about therapy, and there's no reason to be embarrassed about possibly being medicated. Because between you and Zariah, both of y'all, in my opinion, are mentally unstable and can kick off and pop off in a heartbeat. And I mean, you gotta maintain a stable environment in which you want your baby to grow up in. That's all I'm saying. I know that there is no greater loss than a parent. I lost mine, and I lost mine younger than you were, right? And it absolutely changes your life for the rest of your life. It absolutely does. There's no one who can replace your mom and your dad. But young, you need some therapy. And I'm hoping that you're getting it. And I'm hoping that you're going to be a great dad. And that you don't bring the stuff in that you didn't have, right? Give your child what you do have. What you did not have, don't give that to your child. Give your baby a fighting chance. Anyway, that's the end of this review because I got about 4 or 5 more of them I got to do. I love y'all. Y'all let me know downtown in the comment section what y'all thought about this, okay? Because I really do want to hear. Love y'all. Deuces. Bye.